Your phone check 12 1234 12345. And good afternoon from the campus of Fredonia State University, and thank you for joining our live coverage of AAU college hockey on the Nickel City Hockey Network. Our run of broadcasts with the Fredonia Blue Devils continues today with a UNYCHL D2 matchup, and it will be Erie Community College as the opponent here in town today. Hello, I'm Aaron Elpern, joined by camera operator Katie Lee here in the 412 Communications broadcast booth. 412 Communications, the new gold standard in digital media solutions. Fredonia looking to make it 3 wins in a row today as they welcome ECC to town, and the Blue Devils last in action on October 14th right here on the Nickel City Hockey Network. That was a 6-3 win over Alfred State. In that game, Elias Printup scored twice, the first and last goals of the game, while Nate Kernan tallied a goal and 2 assists in the victory. Fredonia is now 2-0 in divisional play. Their opponent, a divisional opponent, comes in today. Very similar situation to their last opponent, Alfred State. ECC looking for their first win of the season. They've had several close games against some strong opponents recently like UB and Brockport, so Fredonia certainly shouldn't take the Cats lightly. Veteran head coach Gary Rost, 16 years of experience behind the ECC bench, 274 wins to his credit as well. You can guarantee that the Cats will be ready for this divisional game, which is the first of the ECC season in the divisional play in the UNYCHL D2 West. As mentioned, Fredonia looking to make it 3 in a row after the win 2 weeks ago against Alfred State. That one a bit of a slow start, a 1-1 score after 20 minutes of play. It wasn't until more than halfway through the game that the Blue Devils really seized control. It was a 4-goal second period, including 3 goals in 3 minutes late in the period. Fredonia obviously hopes to carry over what was a very solid defensive performance in the Alfred State game. Only allowed 20 shots on goal against Alfred, never really allowed the Pioneers to get set up in the offensive zone for long stretches. Also had the help of an excellent penalty kill, 4 of 5 in that game. The only power play goal that was scored in that game by Alfred was a third period goal when the Fredonia lead was already pretty significant. One thing that they might want to improve upon here today is getting more shots through traffic. They had a lot of sustained zone time in the offensive zone 2 weeks ago against Alfred State. Pioneers did a really good job of keeping those shots from getting through and getting in on net. A lot of block shots by Alfred in that game. So a focus here today for Fredonia is to get those shots through from the point, from the perimeter, from distance especially. That was one of the hallmarks of that last game here against Alfred State. As we are ready to go here for face-off from Steele Hall on the campus of Fredonia State. No fanfare or pageantry here for the pregame, just warm-ups and then straight into the opening face-off. If you're looking for the pregame pageantry and fanfare, you can stay tuned for our broadcast later on tonight. That will be from Niagara University, where there is always plenty going on with the laser light show, sound, music, and everything. About ready to go here between ECC and Fredonia, a UNYCHL D2 West matchup. Fredonia looking to pull into a tie for first place in the division. Buffalo State currently is technically in first with a 3-1 record. Fredonia 2-0 in the division, but they do have the tiebreaker, the win over Buffalo State. Those two teams meet again in a week. Underway here from Steele Hall, puck in the offensive zone for the Cats. Matt Bacher with the puck on his stick, back to the point, shot from distance. That one doesn't get through. This time it's Fredonia doing a good job getting into that shooting lane and keeping that one from getting in on net. Puck sent back into the ECC zone. Cats back there, but almost dangerously giving that puck away right in front of the cage. That pass was right into a dangerous spot, almost on the stick of a Fredonia player. Fortunate that they were able to get that puck out of the zone, now into the offensive zone of the Cats. As Bacher and Clendenning try to find possession of it right in front of the Fredonia bench. It ends up hitting a Fredonia player on the bench, so we get a stoppage and play face-up coming up deep in the Fredonia zone. Both teams making some changes a little bit more than 30 seconds into the action here in this action. Face-off to the left of the starting goaltender, Ryan Albert, number 1 in net tonight. Or this afternoon, I should say, with the 4 o'clock start. Wait until the second period that I can get into tonight and this evening and feel a little bit more confident about that. Puck played up the far wall into the offensive zone as Fredonia tries to get a little bit of zone time established. Unable to really set up that forecheck, though. ECC quickly getting it out of the zone. And now through the neutral zone, Andrew Baker carries it across the blue line. Offsides was waved off initially, but the delayed call, definitely the proper call there on the blue line. And the faceoff will be right in front of the Fredonia bench. Not even a minute gone here. A couple of stoppages here already as both teams try to get their skates under them and get going here for the long haul of this 60-minute contest. Scramble for a loose puck after the neutral zone faceoff, comes back across the Fredonia blue line, and the Blue Devils find possession. Through the neutral zone into the offensive zone, a 2-on-1 setup there, maybe not quite aware that the numbers were there. Jude Lord just took that shot from the top of the circle. Good opportunity for a shot. Didn't waste any time to let that one go. Save being made by the starting goaltender for ECC, Chase Faso. Puck comes into the neutral zone as ECC tries to get it back into the offensive end. Not successful there as it comes back into the ECC defensive zone. And back behind his goal to start the breakout is Joey Shea. Shea's pass up the near side, unable to connect as two different players kind of met there and converged trying to find position to catch that puck. Icing is waved off as it comes back across the blue line into the neutral zone in front of the Fredonia bench. Blue Devils finding possession. Pass back to Kernan as he skates it through the neutral zone. He had a goal and 2 assists against Alfred State, a big part of that victory. Kernan here deep in the offensive zone as he tries to get that pass back to the point. Just kept in there along the blue line as ECC breaks the pressure and gets it through the neutral zone all the way on to Albert. He sees a little bit of pressure coming into the offensive zone, and he decides just to cover that one up, slow the play down a little bit, and we had a stoppage in play. Now with 17:55 remaining here in period number 1. This broadcast brought to you by Militello Realty, Western New York's premier commercial real estate broker. To buy, sell, or lease any office, industrial, retail, or investment property, trust the unparalleled knowledge and experience of Militello Realty. You can reach them at 716-856-2872 or militello.com. Fredonia winning a faceoff in the far corner of their own zone, D-to-D pass, and they started up the near wall. Pass goes through the legs of the intended target, McGrath, but no icing on the play. As back to start the breakout for the Cats, up to the near wall, but that pass doesn't connect. Kept in the offensive zone by Printup. Spins it around behind the cage, now back to the point. Kernan can't keep it in. This could be numbers potentially for ECC. Cody Yeager with some help trailing. Finds that trailer, Kruskowski, and a great glove save made by Ryan Albert. It looked like there was some room on that glove side to find the back of the net, but the left hand of Ryan Albert thrown up there to make a great stop here in the early going. Score stays 0-0. The first great chance of the game belongs to the ECC Cats, but the Fredonia goaltender up to the early challenge. Another offensive zone draw here for the Cats, but they can't find control. This is Polito starting it up the near side. Runs into the official there as he gets a little bit of difficulty finding possession. Kyle Giroux, though, slides in to find control of it. Comes back into the neutral zone, though, as Eli Mulville makes sure it gets sent back into the offensive end. Fredonia tags up, now looking to put some pressure on, but not too strong of pressure as they drift back into the neutral zone. One thing that this Fredonia team likes to focus on is making sure that they keep their play clean in the neutral zone, making sure that they don't turn over pucks there when they have it on their stick, and then trying to create as much difficulty for their opponents as they try to move through the neutral zone. Johansson here in the near corner as he starts the breakout up the near side. No real pass option there as he just plays it forward. Sent right back into the offensive zone by the defenseman Grady O'Hara. Up the near side now as the pass now connects as it's Polito through the neutral zone. Gets knocked down as he dumps it into the offensive zone. Puck in the near corner. Joey Shea looking to start the breakout for ECC. Slow pass up the right wing wall. Eventually gets to Connor Mangoni. But too slowly developing for ECC to get that into the offensive zone, and Shea has to head back into his own zone. That pass too far for Jefferson Nguyen. And now Fredonia looking to counter and get something set up here in the neutral zone. That puck is flipped in, but a little bit too much loft on that one as it left the stick of number 2, Lucas Williams. That was well into the protective netting behind Jace Faso. Faceoff will come back into the neutral zone from where Williams let that one go. A little bit less than 4 minutes into the action here. A bit of a stop and start first period so far between the ECC Cats and the Fredonia Blue Devils. Only really one strong scoring opportunity in this one so far. That on the 2-on-1 for ECC. Great save by Ryan Albert to keep this one a 0-0 game. Schlifke starting the breakout with a long stretch pass into the offensive zone. Now making a move to get free is Ventura. He finds a man on the doorstep, and what a shot from in tight. Lucas Williams fires it up over the glove hand under the bar, and it's 1-0 Fredonia. 15:46 to go in the first period. Somewhat innocent looking play there on the entry, but Lucas Williams making it pay off when it came to him in front of the net. A great finish from in tight. It didn't really look like he had enough space to get that one up over the glove and under the bar, but he did so. Great skill there in tight. 1-0 Fredonia here early. And while it didn't directly lead to that goal, you can see there was a little bit of extra energy from Fredonia after that save by Albert about a minute ago in the action. It was there were a couple of whistles in between that, but a little bit of extra energy. Goaltender making a big stop, and then his team providing the offensive surge at the other side. ECC looking for that answer, is driving towards the front of the net with a lot of speed. There was Eric Duma, made the move from backhand to forehand, just couldn't quite get the shot away. Back in the other direction, Fredonia dumping it into the offensive zone off the stick of Connor McGrath. He's the first one there to put some pressure on. Good play by Joey Shea to avoid that pressure and get it up ice on the right wing. Through the neutral zone is Matt Bajer. He gets knocked down, almost gets that pass across anyway. Now he looks to set up some back pressure, as dumping it in on the far side is Ventura. Behind the ECC net, setting it up there is Christian Mangoni. Pressure on him as he's tied up with a Fredonia player. The two of them finally get disentangled as the puck comes out towards the blue line. And now through the neutral zone come the Cats. This is Connor Smith. Forehand, backhand move to get around the defenseman. Now he has it below the goal line. Connor Smith carrying it now towards the blue line. Spins and fires a pass to the near wall. Puck comes towards the slot. Lucas Williams finding control of that one. Playing it out towards center ice. They're almost ending up right on the stick of a Fredonia player as the ECC defenseman kind of casually gloved that one down. Ventura here on the near wall as we approach the 6-minute mark of the period. Andrew Baker taking it away from him as ECC looks to start it up the near side. Matthews unable to handle that pass, and now it's Kernan in the Fredonia zone. Kernan with 2 men on him. Pass is off the stick of Clendenning, and now Baker finds it in the neutral zone. ECC looking to load up that regroup. Pass up the near wall. Baker has to regroup for it after it was deflected by a Fredonia stick on his way. Dumps it into the offensive zone. Now ECC looking to set up some pressure here in this near corner. Johansson's pass up the far side, eventually played across the blue line. Now a battle for a loose puck right on the center ice red line. Smith taking it away, has a little bit of room to let a shot go. Good quick hard snapshot in on goal and a good save by Albert. Getting the pad in the way of that one to make another stop. That's 2 hard tests so far. Good play there by Connor Smith to not only create the space for himself, but to let a good hard shot go. Get a stoppage in play here as net comes off the moorings here in the Fredonia zone. As a result, the Blue Devils unable to make a change here. Faceoff will be deep in the Blue Devils zone as well. Fredonia enjoying the 1-0 lead here on the early goal by Lucas Williams. More chances, though, for the other side, though. That was really the only opportunity Fredonia's had. ECC's had a little bit more in terms of offensive zone chances, as they have done exactly that right there, created some difficulty for Fredonia moving it through the neutral zone. Seems that this might be a battle of the neutral zone. We know that Fredonia likes to focus on that part of the ice. ECC has done a good job here in the first 7 minutes of making that part of the ice a little bit more in their favor. It's in the Fredonia zone offensively right now, as making sure that one gets deep is Reese Taylor. Taylor with a goal and an assist in the win over Alfred State 2 weeks ago. Taylor now trying to keep it in here on the near point with the help of Nate Kernan. Comes across the blue line, though, and we get a stoppage in play for the offsides call. 12:35 now remaining in a 1-0 first period. And this broadcast today brought to you by the Battaglia Marciano Agency, an independent agent for auto, homeowners, business, and life insurance. The Battaglia Marciano Agency providing peace of mind for Western New Yorkers for over 35 years. Fredonia finding some space here in the neutral zone. Printup carries it in across the blue line, shrugs off one check and keeps possession. Tries to get a pass across the goal line, but a good play by Shea, getting the stick on that one, and then getting that puck out to the near boards where ECC starts the breakout. Unable to get it into the offensive zone as Fredonia makes a good play along their blue line. ECC answers that call with a good play of their own, denying a zone entry. And now the two teams just trade possession back and forth here in the neutral zone. Schlifke in his own end here on the near side. Cross ice pass, that one's behind Taylor. And now the Cats find possession as Joey Shea stick handles along his own blue line. Shea up the right wing wall. Mangoni getting it in across the blue line. Duma had a little bit of space there, but not enough momentum to get that one driven in towards the front of the net. Does find a teammate for a little bit of help, and now ECC might have something down tight. Good defense there, keeping Christian Mangoni from getting a shot away. Keeps possession, though, and now gets it to Shea, who looks for a redirection shot. Pretty looking setup. Eric Duma with a one-handed redirection on the backhand, just barely missing that far post, as ECC, again, doing a good job getting established in the offensive zone, creating almost a good scoring opportunity there, but definitely some strong zone time and possession in the Blue Devil zone. 11:28 now remaining in this first period. Blue Devils enjoying the 1-0 lead. Goal coming off the stick of Lucas Williams. As play continues with the puck here in the Blue Devil zone, a little bit of time and space to carry it up this near side. Williams, the goal scorer, carries it in across the blue line. Shot from distance, handled by Faso, but the rebound comes out into the high slot. Shot then taken from distance, right on goal from Jude Lord. Back into the neutral zone as Fredonia tries to find possession. They do manage to get control of it. Williams chips it into the offensive zone. Now a foot race for it. Tatford, the first one to it for ECC. Tatford stopping on the near side. Pass up the far wall. ECC had to be quick. Andrew Baker was quick to that loose puck and now up ice into the offensive zone. Fredonia doing a good job of stopping that push into the offensive end as Ventura gets it slowly into the ECC zone. Fredonia trying to get a change in here as ECC tries to catch them in that change. Mulville with a little bit of difficulty getting that breakout pass connected upon. Now a bouncing puck goes off the skate of Andrew Baker and then right to the goaltender Albert. Covers that one up and holds on for a whistle. Now 10:26 remaining in this first period. A lot of whistles so far in first period action here today. Not a ton of offense, but one goal up on the board so far. That one belongs to the Fredonia Blue Devils. Face off to the left of Albert. As the puck comes through the neutral zone and back into the ECC end, Faso comes out thinking about playing it, ends up retreating back into his own zone, allowing his defenseman to pick it up, and he gets knocked down there on the play as it comes back out towards the front of the net. Kyle Jarrow's almost in a good spot there to get a shot away. Puck comes over to the near side. Adam Polito finding it there, tries to take a shot from a tough angle. That one blocked on its way towards the net. Now the pass from below the goal line out towards the point doesn't connect. A 2-on-2 now for ECC. Almost a stretch pass there behind the defense. Nice look there to get John Botham behind the defenders. He cut right in between the two Fredonia Blue Devil blue liners. Just couldn't quite keep his skates there to keep possession and go in on a breakaway. And face-off now comes up in the Fredonia zone as we are now into the 10-minute mark of period number one. Face-off won by Polito for Fredonia. Now it's Sam Schlifke with a head of steam on the near side. Schlifke gains the blue line, now looking to circle the net. Gets the puck knocked off of his stick, but he still has possession in the corner. Jarosz joins the fray as the puck comes back towards the point. Now Polito has it. Polito into the corner. Puck comes back towards the slot. That pass is intercepted. And now ECC moving it up ice. Botham across the blue line, but they lose possession of it. That puck hits a skate, so this one comes sliding slowly into the ECC zone. No icing because of that skate. The puck hit on its way through the neutral zone. Passes behind Christian Mangoni, but he puts some pressure on here on the near side. Johansson fires it to the far side to try to get the puck out of the zone. Now he'll have to pick it up right next to his goaltender before flipping it high into the air. That one goes off one of the ducks there above the goal here in the Fredonia zone. And because of that, we get a stoppage in play now with 9:04 remaining in the first period. Plenty of action on the UNYCHL schedule here today. This is the first of many games today in the Upstate New York Collegiate Hockey League. A couple of the other games going on today. It is Union at Skidmore at 6 p.m. Skidmore's first game of the season as Ryan Albert falls on a loose puck right in front of his cage. Had to be quick to make sure that there wasn't an ECC player able to grab that one. Really only one in front of the net, that being Ryan Matthews. The other four were a little bit back away from the cage. Matthews, though, unable to get to that one as Albert quickly jumped on top of it. Shot taken from distance there as Connor Smith let that one go through a screen, ended up hitting a skate of that screen and going wide as Fredonia tries to get it out on the near side, kept in though. Mulville trying to get it out again here on the near side, gets that one up to the blue line and Fredonia clears the zone. ECC finding possession though, looking to counter in a hurry. Across the blue line, it's Connor Smith. He's been very noticeable here in the early going as his pass comes right out towards the front of the net. Two defenders on either side of Andrew Baker, but he still gets that shot towards the goaltender. Quick save as closing the pads on that play was Ryan Albert. And we get another stoppage now with 8:27 to go in the period. Look for ECC to try to use a little bit of a conditioning and numbers advantage here in this game. A lot more depth on their bench for this contest than what we see on the Blue Devils bench right now. So perhaps trying to use that depth advantage as something to provide a little bit of a tip in the balance scales is something that we might see from ECC in terms of style of play. See if they try to push the pace a little bit more to try to wear down their opponents. It's Fredonia, though, with the puck in the offensive zone as it's Ventura against that far wall. Puck is knocked off of both a Fredonia player's stick and then an ECC player's stick as the Cats finally find possession. They can't connect on a pass into the neutral zone as stepping up to get in the way was Kernan. Kernan, though, loses possession, though, is coming back across the blue line and making a nice move towards the front of the net was Cody Yeager. Just didn't have quite enough room to get a good backhand shot off. Albert still had to make a save to keep ECC off the board. Schlifke's pass up the far side eventually gets to Ventura, and he carries it out into the neutral zone. Pass to Lord in the middle of the ice, and he carries it in and tries to go through the legs of the defenseman. Good play by Cade Hayes. Make sure that there wasn't a move there to get around him. Cats finding possession, pass through the neutral zone off the stick of Matt Bacher, and he's quickly on top of it in the offensive zone. Some late help coming in on the play. He tries to find that help as sliding in there from his point position was Grady O'Hara. Rest of the Cats were changing on that play. That's why Bacher had to wait for that late assistance. Denning throws the body on the far side to try to find possession, and the Blue Devils now have it. Maybe some numbers in the neutral zone. Polito across the blue line. He's got Giroux towards the front of the net, takes the shot himself. Good save by Faso. Polito in the corner again, back to the point to Kernan, walks the blue line and takes a shot. Giroux tried to get that tip. Got it too much of it, though, as he just essentially knocked it straight out of midair, right down to the top of the goal crease. Fredonia keeps possession, though, as they create a turnover on the far side. Goaltender getting run over there as they battle for a loose puck in front of the net. Faso with his gloves towards his helmet there as he appears to be in a little bit of discomfort after being run over by, it appears to be Adam Polito. Faso back up to one knee. Now just kind of getting everything with his jersey settled. He appears to be none the too worse for wear, though, as he puts the helmet back on. Starts to collect his gear, and the trainer not even coming on the ice, as it appears that the collision looked worse than it actually was there for the ECC netminder number 30, Jace Faso. 6 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the first period. It's a 1-0 lead for Fredonia, but ECC has been knocking on the door for a lot of this period. The goal came about 3 minutes into the action. Lucas Williams getting credit for that one. A really nice finish from in tight. Face-off now coming up here in the neutral zone because of that collision at the net front. Fredonia, though, finding possession just inside their own blue line. Print up, unable to get that puck across the blue line, as ECC also fails to gain the zone, but we're going to have a penalty called here behind the play, as it was the back official. He is signaling an elbowing call, and this one's going to go against Fredonia. None too pleased about that call is number 29, Connor McGrath, but he will sit for 2 minutes or less for elbowing. Referee not only makes the official signal there for elbowing, but throws a little added gesture to make sure that the offending player knew exactly what he had done on the play. So we get a 2-minute power play here for the ECC Cats as they try to draw even, trailing 1-0 on the early goal by Lucas Williams. Williams now looking to add to it shorthanded. Williams letting the shot go. Blocker side over the arm inside the post. 2-0 Fredonia. Lucas Williams has both of them. The first one 5-on-5. This one comes 7 seconds into a penalty kill. Quick play off the face-off. Williams with a head of steam through the neutral zone. Had way more speed going there than either of the two ECC players. Found control of the puck and then made no mistake on that snapshot over the blocker side arm of Faso. It is 2-0 Fredonia with a shorthanded goal. Talked a little bit in the early going, in the pregame, about how a big part of the win over Alfred State for Fredonia was their penalty kill. Not only have they gotten things started here on the right side of killing off this penalty, but they've also got the shorthanded goal. Still have plenty of time, though, to kill off on this PK. Good play there by Brady Ventura to find possession of that puck right inside the blue line, getting the clear to kill off a little bit more time on the penalty. A minute 23 now remaining on this ECC power play. Ryan Matthews on the near side takes a bump from Johansson as he keeps possession and circles the net. Backhand pass down into the far corner. Picking it up there and looking for a pass, Connor Mangoni. Mangoni to Shea, and now Mangoni has it again on that far side. Pass to the near side as Tadford had a really good look just inside the dot on that cross-seam pass. Looked like it just might have rolled on him as he let that one go. Shot it right into the protective netting, up and over the net and the boards behind the net. So a good opportunity goes by the wayside as Zachary Tadford can't find the net with that opportunity. Still a minute 2, though, left on this ECC power play. Bajer and Polito on for this face-off. Draw to the right of Albert. ECC winning control and getting things set up on the power play. Here at the midpoint, it's Christian Mangoni. He walks in and takes a hard snapshot. That one didn't miss the top of the net by a whole lot. It did, however, fail to get inside that crossbar. Goes off the back glass, and then Fredonia gets a clear. Goaltender Faso tries to play it up ice to get his teammates a little bit of help on the breakout. Pass doesn't connect, though, and that's going to give Fredonia a chance to kill off a little bit more time. Connor Smith gets it up ice. Eric Duma on the far side for the ECC power play. 25 seconds left on that man advantage. Mangoni barely keeping it in there along the blue line. You heard a little bit of a call from the Fredonia faithful as the penalty is actually going to be called there on the far side. Is slow to get up to the ice is Nate Kernan. A cross check being indicated. And a bit of a call there along the blue line as they were, as the Fredonia, either the bench or some of the Fredonia fans were looking for an offsides call there as it was just barely kept in by number 9, Christian Mangoni along the blue line. And then down low, it was a reverse hit on Kernan. Stick came up a little bit, ended up getting him up high, so it's number 25, Eric Duma, sitting for 2 minutes because of that. That will negate the remaining 16 seconds of the Blue Devil penalty. So we'll have a little bit of 4-on-4, and then it's Fredonia going to the power play. Supporters for this broadcast include Pups Styled by Jesse, one-on-one grooming services that will have your dog looking forward to its next visit. Voted Best of 716 Pet Groomer for 2022 and 23. Pups Styled by Jesse on Main Street in Clarence, just east of Transit Road. Elias Printup winning the faceoff for Fredonia as they get set up here in the offensive zone. Still 4-on-4 here as Schlifke looks for a shot. Looking to go blocker side, a little bit off the ice. Good blocker save made by the netminder Faso. Loose puck on the near side. Giroux finds control and gets it behind the net. Now a foot race for that one. Picked up again by Fredonia as they are now back to full strength as Schlifke has it at the point. Now a minute 35 of a power play left for Fredonia. Good play along the blue line, though, is to kill off a little bit more time and to make things more difficult for the power plays. Cody Yeager creating a turnover. Gets the clear and now putting a little bit of pressure on here in the offensive zone with a minute 20 to go in the Blue Devil power play. Nate Kernan here on the near side as he skates it through the neutral zone and cuts towards the center of the ice. Still with the puck on his stick. He finally drops that pass off. Now Schlifke here at the point looking for a shot from distance. Save is made by Faso. There was a rebound there for a brief moment. The ECC defenders making sure they got that one cleared out of danger. Back into the offensive zone, though, looking to create something again. Here's Kernan letting that shot go after Giroux set him up. Shot misses the net high and wide, going off the back glass, but Printup finding it now. Drop pass to Johansson, back down low, and now back up high to Johansson. Shot from distance with a screen in front. Giroux deflects it wide. Possession kept here by the Blue Devils as Johansson's shot from the point gets through that traffic in front. Two different Blue Devils set up in front of Faso. Managed to track that puck through the crowd, though, and make a save. He holds on now with 33 seconds remaining in the power play. 3:04 now left in period number 1. going to be Baker and Polito for the faceoff. Polito winning the draw. Good play by Johansson to make sure that the ECC player didn't have a push-up ice, because if he would have gotten that puck off of his stick, could have been a 1-on-0. Almost some numbers there for the penalty killers from ECC, but they slow things up and pull it back into their own zone. Now just killing off the last 15 seconds of this power play. Finally clear that one all the way in on the Fredonia goaltender, and Albert sets it up for his power play to get started again here by Kernan. Kernan to Polito as the last 2 seconds tick away on the ECC penalty. Blue Devils here in the offensive zone. Polito setting up that pressure and getting that puck free back to the point. Shot fluttering off the stick of Johansson. Those ones are kind of difficult to handle sometimes for a goaltender. Johansson a little bit frustrated with himself, not getting a whole lot on that shot, but wasn't the easiest of saves for Faso to make. If you expect one at 80 miles an hour and get one at 40 miles an hour, you definitely have to make an adjustment and make sure you track that one properly. Faso doing a good job there with the left hand to make the save and cover up. 2:23 now remaining in this period as Fredonia wins another faceoff as they look to get set up here in the offensive zone. Breakout pass is intercepted, but Fredonia unable to keep possession. As again, that ECC breakout starts up the far side. Lucas Williams getting in the way again. Good first period for number 2, Lucas Williams. He's got both goals already. He's clearly playing with some confidence as he creates some havoc there in the offensive zone. Back into the Fredonia defensive end. Johansson skating it away from danger, but this time his high pass through the neutral zone ends up floating on him a little bit more than he was intending, and he'll have to go back into his own zone to play a little bit of defense for that draw coming up to the left of Albert as we are under 2 minutes to play in period 1. Faceoff comes back towards the slot. ECC finding control after creating a turnover. This is Bajer here in the near side. Back out to the point. Shot taken from distance. Good block there by Ventura. Comes towards the front of the net, though ECC might still have a chance to get something in tight. Good play by the Fredonia defender, Jude Lord, making sure that puck got towards the corner and didn't stay in front for very long. Shot from the right point misses the net. ECC now trying to find possession again. Good play to get it away from that pressure, and now it's going to be Ventura taking a big hit just to get that one in across the blue line. Throwing the shoulder into him on that play, the big defenseman, Cade Hayes. Approaching a minute to go in the period as ECC gets it back into the offensive zone. Kernan starting it away up the near side. Could have been some numbers there for Fredonia, but they elect to just play it into the neutral zone. ECC finding control yet again. Battle for a loose puck on the near wall. Getting it in across the blue line. Eric Dumas skates in between 2 defenders and then gets that pass across to Christian Mangoni. Good hard shot there along the ice and a good save by Albert. It's like the 3rd or 4th time he's had to make a high danger save. Might have to make one again here as maybe one pass too many there from Christian Mangoni. Had a man open there on the far side, just couldn't get it to him. And maybe Ventura might have a step here at the end of the period. Quickly takes that shot and a good pad save made by Faso. Teams trading chances here as we now have a penalty called here as trying to sidestep that hit was Eric Duma in the neutral zone. Ends up taking the leg of the Fredonia player number 21, Elias Printup. So that's going to be a tripping call, I assume, against the Fredonia forward. That is correct. That is the indication from the referee at the scorer's box. So the last 23.9 seconds of this period will be played with an ECC power play, at least assuming they are unable to score in the last 23.9 seconds of this man advantage. Still a 2-0 lead in favor of Fredonia. They made it 2-0 on the last ECC power play. Just 7 seconds into it, Lucas Williams getting that shorthanded goal. This time ECC wins a faceoff off the start of the power play, and a good redirection shot off the wrister coming in from the point by Joey Shea. Another save made by Ryan Albert. Good first period so far from the Fredonia netminder. Still 5 seconds to go in the period. Nate Kernan kills off the last of the period with a clear down the ice. And the last 2 seconds tick away, and the horn goes to signal the end of period number 1. It's a 2-0 lead for the Fredonia Blue Devils. 2 big reasons for that lead, Lucas Williams and Ryan Albert. Williams with a great first period on the offensive side of things. He had the first and second goals of the frame, giving his team the 2-0 lead. and making it stand up was his netminder Ryan Albert, who made 4 or 5 high-danger chances there in that period, keeping the score as it is. 12-9, the official shots on goal in favor of Fredonia, so 9 saves in that period for Albert, a perfect 9 for 9, and his team heads to the locker room with a 2-0 lead after 20 minutes in play. However, there is a carryover penalty that will go into second period play, a minute 37 remaining on the ECC Cats power play that they will have at the start of period number 2. Taking a quick look at some of the other games going on today in the UNYCHL, and this look at the scoreboard brought to you by Envious Gameware, designers of custom hockey uniforms, bags, and apparel. Visit enviousgameware.com to get your team a look to be envious of. Mentioned earlier, the first Skidmore game of the season is this evening at 6 p.m. They will host Union in the UNYCHL East matchup. Paul Smiths travels to Rochester. They will face the Yellow Jackets at 7 p.m. Gannon and Penn State Barron College, also a 7 p.m. start. The highlight game on the UNYCHL schedule is at 7:15. That one's in Binghamton. St. Bonaventure traveling to Binghamton to face the Binghamton Bearcats. That one should be an excellent matchup. Then later on tonight at 7:30, it is Buffalo State at Niagara. That game also here on the Nickel City Hockey Network. This is the Nickel City Hockey Network, Western New York's new broadcast home for amateur hockey. We're going to take about a 15-minute break, but rejoin you for second period play coming up here on the Nickel City Hockey Network. Thank you for joining our broadcast today. We'll be coming up with a little more action shortly. And welcome back to Steele Hall on the Fredonia State University campus as we get ready for second period play between the Fredonia Blue Devils and the ECC Cats. It is a UNYCHL D2 West matchup, a 2-0 score after 20 minutes of play in favor of Fredonia. Hello, I'm Aaron Elpern, joined by camera operator Katie Lee as we join you from the 412 Communications broadcast booth. 412 Communications, the new gold standard in digital media solutions. Underway in second period play, Fredonia with a 2-goal lead, but they do have to kill off some time on a penalty kill here. A minute 20 remaining as it carries over into period number 2. Tie up for a loose puck next to the ECC bench. Puck ends up being slid into the neutral zone. That one done by the stick of Lucas Williams. So far, one of the stars of the game for Fredonia, both goals in the first period. ECC looking to do something with the remainder of their power play. Still a minute to go on the man advantage. Good play at the blue line to keep it in. Christian Mangoni, he was very noticeable in the first period. Good one-timer set up there. Matt Bajer with the big shot there from the far side. Just couldn't quite get that one on goal. Good setup there by Andrew Baker with the pass. Fredonia getting a clear. Goaltender Faso has a little bit of a decision to make there. Thought about a couple different passing options, held onto it for a long time for a goaltender. Eventually gets it up ice, and now it's going to be Andrew Baker through the neutral zone. Baker on the right wing, stops just before the hash marks, retreats back to the point. Christian Mangoni on the left point. His pass bounces over the stick of Bajer, but picked up here in the near corner by Eric Duma. Duma with 2 men on him. Good play by Clendenning to get it off of his stick. But the high flip on the backhand goes straight into the roof. That one would have been into just about most roofs that I think you'll see in the UNYCHL. There aren't a whole lot of places where there wouldn't have been into the rafters. That one had a lot of elevation on it. Still was gaining altitude when it hit the rafters. So still 13 seconds to go in the penalty to Elias Printup. And ECC gets the offensive zone draw to work with it here. And they find control off the faceoff as Yeager has it against the near boards with a man on him. Eli Mulville doing some good work there defensively, and that allows Fredonia to get it clear. Into the offensive zone is Clendenning looking to create something shorthanded as the penalty expires. Cats back in the other direction. Shot from distance, easily handled by the glove of Ryan Albert. He was also very good in period number 1, stopping all 9 ECC shots on goal. Makes his 10th save here that is the 11th save as actually the shot total went up from 9 to 10 during the intermission. So that is 11 saves on the game for Ryan Albert. He has been perfect so far. And of those 11, there were at least 3 or 4 in the first period that were very, very good opportunities for the Cats and great saves made by Albert to keep it at the time 0-0, 1-0, or 2-0, depending on when he made those stops. Gave some credit to Albert. He won't get an assist for it, but he made the biggest save of the period probably about a minute before that first Fredonia goal. So certainly providing his team with the boost that they would hope from the netminder. Shot coming in from the point. Eli Mulville letting that one go, handled by the glove of Jace Faso, showing that he can also make stops to help out his team. ECC now making some changes as we are under 18 minutes to go in the second period, 17:47 to go in the frame. Polito on for the draw, and it will be Andrew Baker for ECC. Scrambled face-off as it's still right in between the two centers. Eventually it comes out towards the front of the net. Backhand pass towards the blue line doesn't get out. Cade Hayes now has to take his man to the wall there. Could have been called for a penalty, but eventually lets go and now ends up having the stick taken out of his hands. Baker along the near side as he has to avoid a teammate there to get that puck out to center ice, sent right back into the offensive zone. Baker now has a couple of men on him as Jarosz creates a turnover. Baker takes it right back though. Johansson playing it to the corner. Slid behind the net by Cade Hayes. Slowly up the near side. This is going to be Ryan Matthews through the neutral zone. Matthews shot from distance, gets blocked, then he gets knocked down into the corner. Fredonia looking to get that puck up ice quickly, but stepping in is Hayes to keep it in. He lets a shot go from distance. Had a lot on it. Tough save there by Albert, but he does make the stop. And it stays a 2-0 game as a backhand pass from Connor Smith on the far side gets right onto the stick of Baker and then down low to Matthews. Matthews against two different Fredonia players looking for possession. Baker comes over to help. Slides it behind the net. Nobody there to accept that pass, though. Now a foot race for it along the near side. Fredonia up the near wall into the offensive zone. That pass a little bit too far for its intended target. Reese Taylor has to chase down and put some offensive zone pressure on. So we're going to have a penalty called there on the far side, an interference call. The Fredonia player certainly made sure that the referee knew that he was being impeded there. Connor McGrath with the full sell on that interference call along the far boards. Heading to the penalty box now to serve 2 minutes or less will be number 15, Ryan Matthews. So 16:23 remaining in the period. A chance for Fredonia to extend their lead. Both goals coming in period number 1 off the stick of Lucas Williams. First one a 5-on-5 goal. The second one a shorthanded unassisted goal. Assists on the first Williams goal going to Ventura and Schlifke. Schlifke setting up that play here on the power play. Pass doesn't connect towards the middle of the ice, and Schlifke has to go back into the neutral zone. Now skating along his own blue line before feeding a pass along to Kernan. Kernan on the near side. Gets himself a little bit of space along the near corner. Then back up to Jarosz here against the near hash marks. Jarosz with some room. Takes that shot from just outside the dot. And that one went right straight off the head of the netminder, Faso. And almost looked like he leaned into it with the helmet there to direct that one up and out of play. Referee skating over to make sure that the ECC netminder is okay to continue. Faso clearly no problems with that save. As I suggested, he might have intended that one. And the power play now continues with 1:32 to go in the man advantage for Fredonia. Nice move by Kernan to get some space. He gets it across to Polito. Just rolled onto its edge before he let that shot go, and it missed high. Good play to get that one up ice, and this one's going to be a breakaway for ECC. Duma in alone. Great save by Albert. He makes the second save on the rebound as well. Eric Duma with a breakaway opportunity, shorthanded, looking to answer the shorthanded goal from the first period by Fredonia. Great save, though, by the netminder for the Blue Devils, again making a key stop to keep his team ahead. Player gets knocked down on the zone entry. Fredonia, though, putting some pressure on, trying to create a loose puck. Hayes, though, getting it up ice, but right into the Fredonia bench, so that stoppage in play will result in a offensive zone draw for Fredonia, and they get a fresh unit out here for the last 52 seconds of the power play. Lucas Williams, the multiple goal scorer in this game, out there on the point for this face-off. Slides a pass across to Johansson, one-timer in on goal. Right pad save made by Faso. Blue Devils keep possession. Ventura along the near wall. Spins away from one man, gets it to Johansson. Johansson back down to the near wall. Elias Printup with a little bit of space. He just circles here at the point. Across the blue line and then over to the far side to Williams. Back to the point to Johansson. Over here to the near side to Printup. Fires a wrist shot and that one misses wide. Johansson trying to feed it deep into the zone, but that one goes off of a body, and now it could be a chance for Connor Smith. Smith with a half a step on the defender. Misses the net wide with a little bit of pressure coming late. There will be a penalty called here on this play, though, as the referee had the arm up for the entire way up ice. The little bit of interference on the skating up ice there for the ECC player. Still managed to get a half breakaway out of it, but that little bit of a chip there just as he started up ice to go and collect that loose puck. Just enough to keep that from being a clean breakaway on the play. ECC will get to enjoy a power play because of it, but still there's still 11 seconds remaining of the Ryan Matthews minor penalty. So 4-on-4 for 11 seconds, and then an extended abbreviated power play for the Cats. Kernan looking for the clear right away off the faceoff, perhaps forgetting that there was a 4-on-4 to start there. So we still have 2 more seconds of 4-on-4 play coming up, and faceoff will again come back into the Fredonia zone on the icing infraction. Our broadcast today brought to you by Pups Styled by Jesse, one-on-one grooming services that will have your dog looking forward to its next visit. Voted Best of 716 Pet Groomer for 2022 and 2023. Pups Styled by Jesse on Main Street in Clarence, just east of Transit Road. And now it looks like we're having another penalty called here, and this one's going against ECC. Their original penalty expired. They were making a change at the bench, and the puck came into the area, And that, if you're not careful, can lead to some troublesome situations. In this case, it's too many men on the ice against ECC. So that power play didn't last very long in favor of ECC, just 13 seconds off of the original penalty to Fredonia. So it's going to be an extended 4-on-4 here, minute 47 of 4-on-4. ECC would have had a good chance there with the power play, but unable to get that change executed properly, and it ends up being the too many men on the ice penalty. Referees busy here in the middle part of the game. 4-on-4 now play continuing, as it's going to be Kernan across the blue line for Fredonia. Kernan 1-on-2 here in the near corner. Still gets that pass out in front, almost gets it to Polito. Just a little bit off the mark for him to get the shot away. 3-on-1 now in the other direction. Bajer looking for that pass. Does make the pass across to Smith, just a little bit off the ice, and Smith unable to get a stick on that one. Polito back in the other direction, as the 4-on-4 play has certainly opened things up. Slowing it down just a little bit, Christian Mangoni, but eventually gets that one up ice to Joey Shea. Shea across the blue line as he's got it on the far side. Spins and gets around one defender, and now gets that pass back to Christian Mangoni. Mangoni sends it back down low, but the first one to it there is Nate Kernan. 35 seconds remaining in the 4-on-4. Bajer creates a loose puck and gets knocked down on the play. Delayed penalty coming up against Fredonia. It's a dangerous looking hit there as Bajer looked to spin away there and create a little bit of space and got hit from behind and the side there, right along the hip area. Printup is the one heading to the penalty box, so the march to the penalty box continues here in the second period, and the referees continue to be busy. So it's going to be a 4-on-3 advantage here for ECC, as they'll have to take one of their players off the ice, one too many at this moment, and they get their proper personnel out there. So 28 seconds remaining on the original Fredonia power penalty. After Johansson's penalty is released, then it'll be 4-on-4 for about 10 seconds, and then back to a 5-on-4 for ECC for the remainder of the Printup penalty. Pass comes in front of the net. Matthews almost setting up his man in front there. Connor Mangoni just a little bit off the mark on that pass. And now 10 seconds remaining on the 4-on-3. Andrew Baker with some speed into the offensive zone on his offhand, so he circles the net. Johansson's penalty expiring. We're back to 4-on-4 as Baker circles the zone. Drops that pass back to Tatford. A little bit of pressure on him. Slides it along the blue line. Shot from the far side. That one gets deflected wide. ECC penalty is now expired, so a minute 17 of a Cats power play. Clearing attempt by Clendenning doesn't get out of the zone. Second attempt, though, that one goes all the way back into Jace Fasso's end. Comes out of his net to play it for Tatford. A little bit of a miscommunication with his defenseman, though, and that allows Ventura to create a little bit of havoc. Killing off a little bit more time on this penalty, as Baker has to deal with two different Fredonia players just to the left of our broadcast position. Tatford back in the corner. His pass doesn't get to Baker, but eventually Baker comes back to retreat and retrieve it for his teammate. ECC with some difficulty just getting the puck out of their zone on this power play. Still 40 seconds to go, but Clendenning looking to create something shorthanded. A great move to get himself around the defender. Goes forehand, backhand, but can't beat Fasso in tight. Great play by number 8, Colton Clendenning, late in his shift. He'll have to get back here to kill off more of this penalty, and still 22 seconds remaining on this ECC power play. Puck at the midpoint where Bajer has it. Bajer slides it down low, looking for that one-time setup for Christian Mangoni, just a little bit off the mark with that pass. Cats keep possession, but just for a moment. Puck is played back into the neutral zone and back into ECC territory. Last 2 seconds now ticking off of the Fredonia penalty. And finally we are back to 5-on-5, as this might be only the first couple of seconds of 5-on-5 in this period. Might be a chance for Connor Smith. 5-on-5, he gets in tight. Great save by Albert, coming out well out onto the blue paint there to cut off the angle. Good play to get something set up there by ECC, and an equally good stop there by the Fredonia netminder. Bajer keeps it in at the left point. Good stick handling and a quick stick to get that one down low. Team's trying to find possession below the goal line. Printup with a good move to get it around to Bajer, and now Printup carries it along the near side. chips it off the near glass, up into the offensive zone. Almost getting to that one was Lucas Williams just inside the blue line. Connor Smith back in the other direction with a lot of speed into the offensive zone. 2 different moves to get through the 3 different defenders in the middle of the ice. Good work there by the Fredonia defenders to not let the speed of Connor Smith be an intimidating factor. Good patience and poise to make the play there in the high slot. They will be guilty of an icing call, though, in the moments afterward. And just past the halfway mark in this game, 9:59 to go in the second period. We'll get a faceoff coming up in the Blue Devil zone. 2-0 is the Fredonia lead. Both of those goals coming back in period number 1. Our broadcast today brought to you by the Battaglia Marciano Agency, an independent agent for auto, homeowners, business, and life insurance. The Battaglia Marciano Agency provides peace of mind for Western New Yorkers, and they've been doing so for over 35 years. Contact the Battaglia Marciano Agency, 716-675-5700. I believe we have a timeout being called by Fredonia here on the icing call. Didn't see the official signal, but it's a safe guess the team that's guilty of icing is usually the one that takes the timeout to give themselves a little bit of an advantage. And the rules here, it's worth noting that you're able to make a change now coming out of the timeout. So Fredonia is able to get some fresh skaters out there instead of the 5 that were out there for maybe an extended period of time before that icing call. It's a very smart timeout being taken here by the Fredonia coaching staff, realizing that there's a moment in the game here where they might have some tired players and the ECC might have an opportunity to create something because of that. So they take the timeout, give their team a little bit of a rest, and get the fresh players out there that aren't worn down from the previous few minutes. Timeout comes to a conclusion here, and we're ready to go here in the zone to our right. Heading back into the net is the goaltender Ryan Albert. He has been stellar here in this one. 10 saves in the first period, 6 so far in this period, 16 for 16 for number 1, Ryan Albert, the netminder for Fredonia. Puck is back down. We're back underway here in second period play as the Cats find possession below the goal line. Kruskowski trying to make a pass to Yeager. Gets it back and then right out towards the front of the net. Great setup and another great stop by Albert as in tight looking to put that one home was Zach Seifert. ECC looking to get it back into the offensive zone as maybe they have a little bit of extra life here coming off of that timeout where they ended up being the team that created a chance. Fredonia getting that puck cleared out of their zone. Hayes sending it right back in. Albert tried to come out of the net to play that puck for his defenseman, but it ends up coming up to Schlifke on the far side. Can't connect on a pass in the neutral zone. And it's going to be Mulville now here in the near corner. Mulville up the near boards as Fredonia unable to get it out of the zone. And now it's going to be Schlifke having to go back and retrieve it behind his net. He gets knocked down by the ECC player there, Kruskowski, and there's going to be a penalty called as a result. Player being hit from behind, and now we got a couple of punches being thrown. There were definitely some words being exchanged after that hit, and then a little bit of physicality ensued and a couple of punches thrown back and forth. We'll see what sort of penalties we have coming up here as we had about 3 minutes of time where we got to play 5-on-5, and now we have a lot more penalty work for the referees to have to deal with. Zach Seifert still with a lot going on there, a lot to say in the penalty box for ECC. He is certainly one of the ones who will be penalized here on this play. He was not the original player that was offending on that play. He's lucky to only get a roughing penalty because he definitely threw a couple of straight right hands. I think what we have happening here is everything washing out. I think we're going to have a 2-minute cross-checking penalty against Fredonia. A 2-minute cross-checking penalty against ECC. The response from Fredonia, it's the second penalty up on the board right now. There's only one penalty on the board right now, and that's for ECC. So I think it's a Fredonia power play coming up. Yeah, just with the one penalty on the board, that's what that tells me. We'll double check on the official scoring here as they get that updated to give you the full decision-making process and what happened there, but it will be a Fredonia power play. as the response after the hit ends up being washed out, one player from each side being penalized. So Fredonia now looking to add to their shorthanded goal and 5-on-5 goal with a power play marker. A little bit of difficulty getting things started, though, as it's going to be Connor Smith finding control of a puck in the neutral zone, sending it back into the Fredonia zone. First 25 seconds have gone by on this power play without a whole lot going on in the offensive end. Nate Kernan trying to put a stop to that as he carries it in across the blue line, loses control with some tight defense on him. Polito, though, finds it, though. He almost got that backhand in on goal from the mid-slot. Puck is played towards the slot. Clendening gets it to Giroux in front of the net. And just enough muscle there to get it through the netminder and the defender who was trying to tie him up. Kyle Giroux has made it a 3-0 game on the power play. Puck came right towards the front of the net where Giroux was camped out. And now we're going to get a Fredonia penalty coming up here in the aftermath, as there was a little bit of as I think there was some taunting going on there towards the player in the penalty box. I don't think it's the right guy who's being penalized, though, as the goal scorer. Giroux is heading to the penalty box. I thought it was Schlifke who was the one with the gesture and the words for the ECC player in the box. Certainly a lot to keep track of on the score sheet today. If this was the old days and it was the paper score sheets, they would definitely need to use the back of it. Fortunately, it's on the iPad at this point in history, and they won't need the extra paper space, but it's certainly a lot of extra work for the scorekeepers here in this game, as it's just been a constant march to the penalty box in the second period. It's a 3-0 lead, though, and that's the most important thing to take away from what's happened here in the last few minutes. The power play goal for the Fredonia Blue Devils to make it 3-0. And now they've scored goals in all three ways that you can score them here in this game. Even strength, shorthanded, and now in the power play. I guess there are other versions of ways that you can score a goal. The penalty shot goal, I guess, would be the only one that's missing at this point. Cats, though, with the power play going here, trailing 3-0. They're going to need to do something in order to chip away at that before too much time ticks away. Joey Shea with a shot from the point. He ends up fanning on it and breaking his stick, but that works out perfectly for his team. It ends up coming right to the front of the net. The goaltender, Albert, sliding to his left to react to what he thought was going to be the shot from the point. Ends up leaving too much space in front of the net, and it is now a 3-1 hockey game, as it's going to be Grady O'Hara getting the goal, the recipient of a fortunate bounce there. It was certainly the type of play that Joey Shea would not expect an assist on, but I think he probably gets one. So the shot comes in from the point, fanned on with the broken stick, and then ends up deflecting right onto the tape of Grady O'Hara. Had to make some adjustment in order to get that one past the goaltender, who was a little bit out of position because of that redirection. But a good finish, good break there for ECC, and they're back within two. Puck in the far side as the teams try to find possession. ECC does so and getting a shot in from distance. Albert making a save on that one. Good response after giving up a goal there in the previous shift. Cats sending it out of their zone quickly. Fredonia with possession now as Johansson's pass gets intercepted. Cats send it right back in. Got to think ECC is going to want to dump that puck in, get it deep as much as they possibly can, try to wear down the undermanned Fredonia defensive crew. Schlifke, Johansson, Kernan, and Mulville are the ones that we have seen pretty much on a constant rotation here today, looking like there are only 4 in total. As Albert again making a good stop to pick up his defenders, making sure that he again covers that one to give no second opportunity. And we'll have another faceoff coming up in the Fredonia zone. 6:33 to go now in second period play. It's a 3-1 lead in favor of the Blue Devils. ECC, though, has the most recent goal here in this one. Face-off to the right of Albert. Johansson going into the corner to pick that one up. His pass doesn't connect. ECC finding it along the goal line. Baker gets out of that crowd and gets it back to the point. Shot from distance. Good save made again, as it was Grady O'Hara looking for his second of the game with that shot from the point. Pad and stick save made by the netminder Albert. ECC with a little bit extra life in their step here as Baker carries it in over the blue line. took a hard wrist shot. It looked like it handcuffed the goaltender Albert a little bit. Didn't quite know where it was after the rebound. Thankfully, for his sake, his teammates cleared that one out of any danger. Clendening can't get that shot away as he gets tied up by Matthews. Clendening, though, gets it out in front of the net. Polito with a backhand pass through the legs. Bit of a miscommunication, not really certain where Johansson was there on that play. Good play by Marcus Johansson to keep it in at the point. And now it's played down low. Clendening spins away from his man to keep possession, gets knocked down on the play as two players from each side try to find possession. Comes up the far wall to Ryan Matthews. Matthews gets run into by Johansson, but into the offensive zones. Connor Smith tries to chip it around the defenseman. Good play by Mulville. Two quick passes, and now Clendening up the near side. Across the blue line, this is McGrath. Tries to go to the backhand to get around the defender. Good play by Joey Shea, not to give much of a lane there. Much bigger player trying to out-muscle him there to the net front. Shea not giving him much space or time to do that at all. Battle for a loose puck behind the Fredonia goal. Pair of players from each side. Smith and Matthews for ECC, and this is going to be Smith getting that backhand pass out towards the front of the net. Just hit a skate and then ends up coming to the point to Shea. Huge hit there on the far side as it's Connor Smith getting driven into the boards from behind. From some of the calls that have been made in the second period, I am shocked that that one wasn't called. That was a dangerous hit on a defenseless player against the boards. Puck in just inside the blue line as we got an offsides call being made here. As puck came across the blue line and then back in. Fredonia guilty of the offsides call, and the faceoff will come up in the neutral zone with 4:32 remaining. Quick glance over to the ECC bench. Good to see Connor Smith on his skates leaning over the boards right now. Shrugged away the trainer after taking that violent collision against the near boards. Puck kept in at the point. Shot misses the net wide. Kernan picking it up in the near corner, banking it off the near glass. Joey Shea starting it back in the other direction. A little bit too far out of the reach of Matt Bajer. As it comes out to Kernan. Kernan on the blue line, sidesteps one man, now into the offensive zone, but 1-on-3. Not a whole lot of room to do much there. Some support coming late as McGrath gets knocked down. That one's going to be a penalty coming up against ECC. And the penalty fest that this second period has turned into has picked up right where it left off. It's been a few minutes since we saw a penalty called, and now we have one going to number 21, Connor Mangoni. Well, the last chance on the power play for Fredonia was successful. That was Kyle Giroux getting the goal. He ended up serving 2 minutes afterward for an unsportsmanlike conduct call, I believe. But it's another opportunity on the power play for Fredonia with the 3-1 lead as they look to extend it yet again here in this period. Giroux on for the faceoff. A little bit of a conversation with the ECC bench and one of the officials. Not sure what that's all about. It's a Fredonia player heading into the penalty box to get treated by the trainer. Now I understand what the stoppage was there. And the puck is finally down here as we are underway with this Fredonia power play. Puck comes to the near side to Colton Clendening. Clendening skates in between two different ECC players, then feeds a pass down low. Fredonia looking for that backdoor look. Good play by the ECC defender to get a stick in that lane. Kernan back in the neutral zone. Winding it up along the near side, skates across the blue line, takes the shot from about the same spot he scored 2 weeks ago. This time, Jace Faso making a good save with the right shoulder. Puck comes out to Kernan, had a really good look there before Faso could get to his position. Just fans on the shot from along the goal line on the far side. Power play back across the blue line. Actually, the linesman gets in the way on the zone entry there as Kernan unable to get it in. And now Blue Devils have to retreat back into the neutral zone. And ECC with a chance to clear, but a good play by Ventura at the blue line. Gloving that one down, just didn't wait long enough for teammate Polito to clear the zone. So that one's going to be an offsides call. And 1:06 now remaining in the power play. Faceoff will be along the Fredonia blue line. As a couple of changes being made by ECC for the last 1:06 of this penalty kill. It's going to be Bajer on for the faceoff against Elias Printup. Still a little bit of work being done there on the Fredonia player that took that hit there before. Trainer there looking at him. The ECC trainer also came over to take a glance. Seems that everything's in order. Face-off ready to go here from along the ECC blue line. Puck is down. Fredonia gets it deep in the offensive zone. Hayes looking for a clear. He gets it out to center ice, and then it hops over the stick of Schlifke. And so this one will go down all the way into the Fredonia zone. Some pressure being put on there by Bajer. Good quick play by Kernan. Kernan now skates it up the far side as he's got some pressure coming on both sides of him. Clearly ECC realizes that number 26 is a player to keep an eye on. Anytime he has the puck in the offensive zone, it's either 2 or 3 players nearby. Kernan's shot gets deflected wide, but it's going to be Ventura finding that loose puck. Williams and Ventura trying to dig that puck free. Eventually it comes out to Printup with 25 seconds to go on the power play. Printup in the near corner, battling with Hayes for that loose puck. Ventura now with the puck along the goal line. Good defense there to cut him off. Ventura then circling the net, back on the far side as he stops along the hash marks. Down low to Williams, now out to the point to Kernan. Kernan with a bit of difficulty handling that one there, and Bajer gets the clear out to center ice. That'll kill off the last couple of seconds of the penalty, and now we have a dangerous hit there on the far side. That one's going to be a penalty against ECC. Kernan goes back for a response, still wants a piece of his man there in front of the penalty box. Eric Duma, the one laying that hit. Kernan not pleased at all, gets up and tries to answer for it immediately. Now he heads to the bench to shake that one off. He's going to get a penalty called against him too for the response. So Kernan clearly not happy with not only the hit but also the penalty. He gets into the penalty box where he will have to serve. We'll see what the penalties are handed out here as we're under 2 minutes to go in the period. Just 1 second remaining on the most recent ECC penalty. And now we have more to add on to it as Duma with the hit from behind there right next to the ECC bench. Kernan's response, and it looks like we're just getting 2-minute minors handed out to each side. We'll have to wait and see what goes up on the board after this conversation with the referees. Our broadcast today is brought to you by the Militello Realty, Western New York's premier commercial real estate broker. To buy, sell, or lease any office, industrial, retail, or investment property, trust the unparalleled knowledge and experience of Militello Realty. 716-856-2872 or militello.com. It looks like the penalties wash each other out. A dangerous hit from behind in which a player is basically hit face first into the glass is the same as 2 pushes back. You can tell I don't necessarily agree with that call. A lot of penalties called in this second period, but so far hasn't really gotten any control over the game yet. In terms of the penalty calls being, if that's the intention is to try to get the tempers down on each side, hasn't really resulted in any less physicality. So Kernan's response ends up washing out the one penalty. The previous one expires, and now we're back to 5-on-5 for the last minute 52 of the period. And I got to think that ECC will take that trade any day of the week. Duma for Kernan. Duma's a good part of their offense, but Kernan is the leader from the back end for Fredonia. Certainly a big part of what they do, both in their own end and in the offensive end. Good play by Jude Law to dive and get in the way of that pass. Now a loose puck here in the near corners. We're under 1:30 to go in the period. Puck comes up the near side. Back pass by Ventura. Gets it to Williams, but the pass to come back to Ventura doesn't connect, as it's going to be Matthews taking it over the blue line for ECC. Matthews digs that out of a player's body who is on the ice and gets that puck across to the far side. Good hard snapshot by Christian Mangoni. That one hit the top of the crossbar and then went up and out of play. Mangoni with the reaction as he looks skywards to the rafters. He knew he didn't miss by much on that one. If he gets another opportunity, I think he'll carry forward some confidence from that last chance. 1:05 to go in the period. Offensive zone draw coming up here for ECC. going to be Baker and Giroux on for the draw. Fredonia winning control of it, but a loose puck in that far circle. Comes towards the front of the net, eventually cleared off to the corner by Mulville. Clearing attempt does get across the blue line, and now it's going to be wound up there and carried back in by Smith. Smith on his offhand as he gets driven into the corner, but he finds control of it again, takes a good hard snapshot from the lower part of the circle. Good save by Albert. Giroux in the other direction, chips it past the defenseman Shea, and now puts some pressure on here in the near corner. Good hit by Clendenning as he gets that puck free and then tries to get it again in that behind the net. Polito back to the point to Johansson. Johansson can't get that shot through, and now a chance for ECC to get it up ice, but that one goes through the skates of Smith and sent right back in by Fredonia with 17 seconds to go. Chance in tight, Polito goes blocker side, and what a save by Faso. Faso sticking with Polito there as it looked like he had him beat, just squeezing that puck between the right arm and the side. Great save by the ECC netminder to keep this one a 3-1 game. Quick 2-on-1 setup down low for the Blue Devils. It looked like they were going to find the back of the net with how that one was coming together. Big save by number 30 for the Cats. Keeps this one a 2-goal hockey game late in period number 2. Those late period goals are always backbreakers. Faso just maybe kept his team in the game with that one right there. 3 seconds to go in the period. As the puck is played into the neutral zone, the horn sounds to bring a penalty-filled second stanza to a conclusion. And finally we get to the second intermission, a 3-1 lead in favor of the Fredonia Blue Devils after 40 minutes of play. Both teams will now head to the locker room for the second intermission. Still a lot to be decided here in this game, as it was 3-0 at one point. ECC, though, chipping back away at it, getting on the board. Grady O'Hara scoring on the power play to make this one a 3-1 hockey game. And 2-goal game is what we will start third period play with. Want to take a quick look at the Nickel City Hockey Network broadcast schedule coming up. One more game tonight. That is from Niagara. Buffalo State visiting the Niagara D1 team. 7:30 warm-ups tonight. Face-off should be right around 8 p.m. Buffalo State again in action tomorrow as they are at UB at 7 p.m. That game taking place at Northtown Center. On Tuesday, we have a Halloween special game. That will be the same ECC Cats traveling to face Canisius. That is a 6:30 start from the Nickel School rink. Then next Friday, Fredonia hosting Buffalo State right here at Steele Hall. That game is a 4:30 start here from the Fredonia State campus. So a brief look at what we have coming up on our broadcast schedule later on this weekend and as well as next week, but still 20 minutes of play left here from Steele Hall at Fredonia. A 3-1 Fredonia lead is the score after 40 minutes in play. We'll step away here for the second intermission, but we'll be back in about 15 minutes for the third period. You're watching the Nickel City Hockey Network, Western New York's new home for amateur hockey.
Modern media is everyone shouting for attention and no one hearing a thing. Broadcast to social, print to digital, 412 Communications has the solution to get you heard. Want to know more? Visit 412communications.com today.
And welcome back inside Steele Hall on the campus of the Fredonia State University as we get set for third period play. Fredonia and ECC about set to go here for the third period. It's a 3-1 lead in favor of the home side Blue Devils as we get ready to go here for the third. Appreciate you joining us on our broadcast here today on the Nickel City Hockey Network. I'm Aaron Elpern, joined by camera operator Katie Lee here in the 412 Communications broadcast booth. 412 Communications, the new gold standard in digital media solutions. Biggest surprise of the start of this third period is that it's actually going to be a 5-on-5 start to the period with all the penalties that were called in second period play. The biggest shock here is that the third period is even strength for both sides. There are players in each penalty box, though, the coincidental minors given out late in the period. So 5-on-5 is how we get third period play underway with. And maybe a chance here developing in the early going for Smith. Takes that shot from the far side. Good save made by Albert. Low shot along the ice. Connor Smith, been one of the more noticeable players in the team in white and red today. He's had a number of opportunities that he's created with his own speed coming through the neutral zone, transitioning into the offensive end. In that case there, he gets a hard shot along the ice on the far side, not even a minute into the action. Good opportunity for his side as they try to chip back here in this game. It was a 3-0 score at one point in the second period. Cats getting a power play goal scored by Grady O'Hara to draw it to within 3-1. It was 2-0 after period number one. Both goals in the first frame scored by Lucas Williams. First one coming 5-on-5 with assists going to Ventura and Schlifke. The second one, a shorthanded goal, made it 2-0 in favor of the Blue Devils. It was 3-0 after a power play goal by Kyle Jarosz in the second period. Colton Clendenning and Nate Kernan getting the assists on that goal. Cats drawing to within 2 on O'Hara's goal. Assist going to Joey Shea on his broken stick. Had the broken stick shot from the point, ends up pinballing right to his teammate and leading to a goal. As we are a little bit more than a minute into the third period. A little bit of time in the offensive zone for the Cats. That one stops with a dump into the offensive zone for Fredonia, right into the netminder as McGrath fired that shot just wide of the cage. And Faso covers it up, holds on with the glove hand for a face-off in his own zone with 18:40 to go in regulation. Faso made a huge save at the end of the second period, just robbing a Blue Devil at point-blank range. Looked like Clendenning had a certain goal scored on him, but a brilliant save by number 30, Jace Faso. As I said at the end of the period, that might be just enough to keep his team in this game. A game in which they have the numbers advantage in terms of personnel. If they can potentially wear down the understaffed Fredonia side and stay in it for long enough, maybe that save will come back to be a key one later on. Face off to the right of Faso as it's played towards the front of the net. Good play by Tyler Thauer to deflect that one off to the corner. As the Cats find possession, Thauer here on the near side tries to poke it into the neutral zone but can't get it past Williams. 4 players here trying to get that puck dislodged from the near boards. Another ECC player finally comes over and eventually it gets free towards the near corner. Pass doesn't get out, ends up going right into the midsection of Ventura, and he has to stop and pick up his stick and glove. As in the other direction in the offensive zone, it was Seifert losing control of it just after he gained the blue line. Puck kept in by Thauer at the point, gets it down low where he's got Yeager. Can't keep possession as it comes back to the point and over the stick of Thauer. Now a foot race into the offensive zone for Fredonia. It's going to be Ventura to it first. Team is changing though, so Ventura is the only one in the offensive zone. 2 different ECC players eventually get that puck away from him, and now it's Cody Yeager through the neutral zone. Just a little bit of a delay there at the blue line, just enough to draw Kriskowski offside. And actually there was a very similar play in the first period where it looked like the zone entry was clean. The referee went and waved off the offsides and then ended up rescinding the call that he had just made. In that case, he waves it off and then blows it dead. Interesting offsides call. Not the way you expect to see them made, but again, the proper call in this case. Smith across the blue line. Looked like a little bit caught up there with him and Matthews both looking to take that shot. Shooting opportunity goes by the wayside, but that one comes in from the point. Grady O'Hara getting a shot through traffic. Good pad save made by Albert. Baker in the near corner with a man on him. Baker eventually gets it back to the point. Shots taken from the right point by Hayes. That one misses the net wide. Now over to the near point where O'Hara keeps it in. Matthews unable to settle that one down. Might give an opportunity for Fredonia to get it cleared and to move that puck up ice. Clendenning has to change directions. Pass goes off the skate of Johansson, and that gives another opportunity for ECC to keep it in. Shot from distance towards the front of the net. Rebound opportunity after a weird bounce. Good save made by Albert. Matthews had a great opportunity on the backhand from about 2 steps away. Shot taken from the point. O'Hara missing the net high and wide as ECC has had a fair amount of sustained zone time here. Shot again from O'Hara. This one goes right into the glove of Albert. Smartly hangs on for a whistle and slows things down just when his team needs a change. Looks like they're going to be making the change on both the defensive and forward ends of things. Looked like the forward line was delaying a little bit before coming out. So 5 new skaters out there for both sides as wholesale changes made for both Fredonia and ECC. And now some equipment work being done there for the goaltender Albert. Seems all set to go. And Fredonia wins the faceoff. Kernan looking to start the breakout up the far side. First pass is connected on. Now a foot race for a loose puck here in the neutral zone. ECC finding control. Christian Mangoni getting that one over to the far side. And then Cats start the breakout. Deflected into the offensive zone by number 21, Connor Mangoni. And he lays a hit behind the net on Sam Schlifke. Schlifke, though, quick with the stick there to find possession of that one, get it to the far side, but Shea keeps it in. Kernan tries to get it out. Shea unable to glove that one down, and now it's on Bajer's stick in the neutral zone. Man on him, creating a little bit of difficulty. Nice play to create that loose puck by Reese Taylor. Taylor now battling in the near corner as he has the attention of 2 different ECC Cats. Eventually, Shea carries it up ice. Puck goes off the stick of one player and then ends up leading to a little bit of a delayed zone entry there for ECC, just barely in offsides. Stoppage coming just under 16 minutes to go in the period. Our coverage today brought to you by Envious Gameware, designers of custom hockey uniforms, bags, and apparel. Visit enviousgameware.com to get your team a look to be envious of. Puck comes out to the near side. Eric Duma dumping into the offensive zone for the Cats. Kernan the first one to it on the far side. His pass comes dangerously right towards the front of the net. Not sure that's what he intended to do with that play there from the far corner. His goaltender, though, paying attention. Albert getting that stick down and keeping that puck from getting in front of the cage. Smartly just throws the glove over it to stop play, and we'll get another whistle and a face-off in the far side of the Fredonia zone. Law and Baker on for this face-off. Clean win for Andrew Baker. Now ECC looks for a shot from distance. Didn't really have the screen set up in front of the net, though. Alex Totten's snapshot easily handled by the glove of Albert. And again, we'll have a face-off from that exact same dot. Same 2 centers. Lord and Baker. This one a little bit more of a dirty win for Baker, and the pass ends up going right in between the 2 intended recipients there in the neutral zone. Ventura intercepting a pass now. Maybe something set up down low. Williams looking for his 3rd of the game on the redirection in front of the net. Nice setup in front of the net as the pass came right to him. Ventura finding him there in front of the net. Williams with a quick redirection. Another good save made by Jace Faso as this game is perhaps turning into a bit of a goaltending battle. Albert has been on top of his game ever since the early going of this one. Faso starting to catch up with some of those 10-bell saves here in the last 10 minutes of game action. Baker and Polito for the faceoff. Polito with a clean win. Kernan can't get that shot through traffic. Now Schlifke battling to keep it in the zone. Puck comes across the blue line, so Fredonia has to clear. Puck was played by a high stick, though, from ECC, so we get a stoppage because of that infraction. And the faceoff will be in the Cat zone to the right of the netminder Faso. Same 2 centers, Polito, Baker. Like Fredonia won that faceoff, but Matthews now has it with a head of steam into the offensive zone. Matthews' backhand shot doesn't miss the net by a whole lot. Unable to keep it in on the far side is Hayes for ECC, but he gets another chance to get it back into the offensive zone. Sends it across the blue line, but Kernan keeps it from getting too far into the zone. Baker intercepting Kernan's pass, and now he looks to create something below the goal line. Back to the point to Tatford. Slowly settles that one down and lets a shot go. It got redirected in front of the net. Ended up going high into the air and then up over top of the cage. But that shot comes in from Hayes, and it redirects in front of the net, changes directions on Albert, and it ends up in the back of the net. The defenseman getting both goals for ECC here today. In this case, Cade Hayes letting the shot go from the right point. Not sure who it hit in front of the net, but it hit somebody and changed directions on Albert. Suddenly we have a one-goal hockey game. Didn't really seem like either team had really established much control here in this third period. It almost felt like a first period in sort of the feeling out that had been going on here in this frame. An innocent-looking play ends up leading to the second ECC goal. Shots from distance that change directions late, always dangerous for netminders to handle. In this case, it changed directions plenty on Albert, and you could tell by his reaction afterwards that nothing he could have done on that shot. It's exactly what ECC needed to make this one a 3-2 game, and it certainly sets up some extra drama here for the last 14:07 of regulation. Icing against ECC, so Bajer and Printup will have a face-off from the far side of the ECC zone. It comes towards the front of the net. Good quick play by Joey Shea to skate that one up ice, and then bank it off the glass to get it into the neutral zone. Yeager sending it down low. Bajer the first one on it, but he's got two different Fredonia players on him there. Back to the point to Christian Mangoni. His shot from distance with a screen in front. It looked like another shot where it changes directions late on Albert. This time he makes the save. Also directed it off to the corner to keep any second chance opportunities from being there. Puck is then floated over the glass on the far side. Stoppage in play, and because Fredonia was the team that played that one over the glass and out of play, they will be unable to make a change here on this defensive zone draw. So fresh skaters out there from ECC, perhaps a tired group out there from Fredonia, certainly tired from the perspective of there aren't a whole lot of Fredonia players on the bench here today, and it looks like we're going to get an elbowing call that is made here right off the faceoff. Looked like maybe an unintentional sort of play in which Mulville ended up catching Bajer up high. Either way, the ECC forward goes down to the ice in a heap, and a pretty obvious call for the referee to make. And now it's a 2-minute power play in favor of the Cats, a chance to draw even possibly now. They were down 3-0 at one point in this game. It's now 3-2, and they get a power play opportunity as we are right at about 13 and a half minutes to go in regulation. Cats find possession, now get it set up on the power play here at the blue line. Mangoni's pass across the blue line. Good pressure, though, being put on Baker. Eventually gets it to Bajer here on the near side. Christian Mangoni back to Bajer, but a little bit too far for him. And a chance for Ventura to get a clear. He does so out to center ice where Christian Mangoni picks it up. Pass off a skate. Fredonia's going to get a chance to clear. Glove down by Williams. He'll have to do the work himself, but he can't get it out of the zone. Two different ECC players drive him to the ice as Bajer picks up the loose change. Gets that pass across, now in towards the front of the net. Bouncing puck going off of skates there. Almost ended up in a perfect spot for Matt Bajer, just a little bit inside for him to get that shot away. Fredonia defender falling on the play as it comes back to the point. Hard snapshot by Christian Mangoni. Bar and in the far side top corner. It's a 3-3 hockey game as ECC has tied it with a power play goal. Mangoni had let a similar shot go during the second period that went off the top of the crossbar. This time, no iron is keeping that one out. He catches the inside of the junction of the post and the crossbar, beats the netminder on a bullet of a snapshot. It's now a 3-3 hockey game as ECC has roared back here in this one. 3 unanswered goals. Game is now tied with 12 and a half minutes to go. See what sort of response there might be here from the Blue Devils. They get it into the offensive zone but can't keep possession. Regrouping in the neutral zone is Polito. He tries to set something up himself there and go high shoulder side. Don't know if Faso leaned his helmet into that one again like he did in the second period. He either got some helmet or shoulder on that one. Makes the save and deflects that one up and out of play. So a good quick answer from Fredonia, but up to the challenge there, the netminder for ECC, Jace Faso. Face-off won by Fredonia. They can't get the shot through traffic, though. Bajer with the block. He looks to start the breakout. Good play by Schlifke, getting into that passing lane, sending it right back into the offensive zone. Giroux on the forecheck. Spins it behind the net. ECC will be able to get to it first. Good little reverse hit there by number 25, Eric Duma. Eventually he gets that one up ice. And now deep in the Fredonia zone where it's going to be Kernan looking for a breakout pass. O'Hara at the near point, keeping it in. Goes back to the point, kept in again there by Connor Mangoni as he drifted back to that left point position, covering for his defenseman who stepped up on the play. Attempted glass clear there on the near side, ends up climbing the glass and then ends up in the seats just to the left of our broadcast spot. And we'll get a stoppage in play now with 11:38 to go in regulation. Last 3 goals belong to the ECC Cats here in this game. It's a tie game with 11:38 to go, as this has certainly gotten a lot more interesting as time has gotten on. It was a 3-0 lead at one point in the second period. Looked like Fredonia was firmly in control. They had a goal in the power play, a goal shorthanded, a goal 5-on-5. But this ECC Cats team hasn't given up one bit. They keep on coming at Fredonia, and now they have it tied, and they might have a little bit of the momentum in this game as well. Shot from a tough angle, that one right along the goal line as Andrew Baker let it go. Ends up in the midsection of Albert, and he has to squeeze real tight to keep that one from dropping down into the crease. Good work there by the Blue Devils netminder to make sure there was no second chance opportunity after a pretty creative shot there from number 6, Andrew Baker. Baker on for the draw now in that far dot. Law winning the faceoff, and now Law has it in the corner as he spins it around behind the net. Back down low as ECC keeps it in at the point. Foot race to the puck on the far side. Lord getting control of that quickly, getting it out to the neutral zone. Sent into the offensive zone, but a little bit too much loft on that one from Christian Mangoni. And it goes over the glass and into the seats. Spectator has to make the decision on whether or not he's going to keep the puck or throw it back to the officials. He ends up throwing it back onto the ice. And now they have to decide which puck to put into play, the one that just went over the glass or the one that the linesman went and got from the scorers. It's the fresh puck that's going to go into play right now, as we have 10:59 now remaining in regulation. Neutral zone faceoff. Matt Bajer carrying it in across the blue line, gets knocked down on the play. Good stiff check there from just as he slid past him, Connor McGrath making sure he knocked his man down on the play. Printup now carrying it up ice. Fredonia with a little bit of speed through the neutral zone, but Printup fans on the pass, ends up having to skate it in across the blue line himself. Only gets it as far as the top of the circle before the ECC defense converges. Breakout pass up the far side, ends up over the glass as Hayes was trying to bank it off the glass and into the neutral zone. So the defensive zone draw will come up here to the right of Jace Faso. 10:33 now remaining in the third period. Hayes pass up the wall behind its intended target. And now Fredonia with a chance to get some zone time established. Taylor and McGrath on the far side trying to establish a little bit of that pressure, but a good play by Yeager to get that puck into the neutral zone. 2 players run into the linesman as the puck comes through the neutral zone and across the Fredonia blue line. Duma on the far side as he tries to get that pass out towards the front. Couldn't find a teammate there, and it comes back across the center ice blue line. Matthew Bajer looks to start back in the offensive direction. Tatford can't get it into the offensive zone as a man gets hauled down right below our broadcast position. Fredonia players looking for a penalty call there, but ECC looking to quickly counter and get it up ice. Hayes passed too far for its intended target, and that one's going to go for icing. We'll see whether or not Hayes is allowed to change, and yes, he is going to be allowed to change. ECC trying to sneak in that change on the icing, and they did successfully do so. Right behind the linesman, too. Hayes was the one that fired that pass behind his teammate, and then he snuck into the bench behind the linesman, who did not see that fresh player come onto the ice. See if that gives ECC any sort of benefit here, as that was Christian Mangoni getting out of the ice for this defensive zone draw. Puck still in the offensive zone here for Fredonia, but not for too long, as Duma finally gets that one up into the neutral zone. Yeager unable to find him on that return pass, and now it's going to be Polito with some speed into the offensive end. Tries to find a backhand pass in the front of the net, but he can't get it to Giroux or Clendenning. Lifke steps in from the right point to fire a shot towards the net. Like a little bit of a conversation going on to the side of the cage there as Polito ended up colliding with the glove of the netminder Faso. Looking maybe his skate ran into his glove. Maybe anticipating a response there from ECC. None really coming. Bit of a conversation, but maybe some of the tempers that were flaring in the second period calmed down a little bit here in this third period. It was nothing but penalties in the second. At least it's been pretty clean here in the third. Player gets knocked down just as I say that, and I had to ruin it by tempting fate and asking for a penalty call to be made. Tripping call is the one that is signaled. Heading to the penalty box, it will be number 10, Connor Smith. Smith has been more noticeable for his play in the offensive zone and some of his positive contributions for the ECC Cats today. Right now, though, he'll have to hope that his teammates can kill off this 2-minute tripping penalty that he's just guilty of taking. At least in the opening part of the penalty kill, it's clear, successfully executed by the Cats, and now they look to set up a little bit of soft pressure here in the Fredonia zone. Up the near side, Colton Clendenning gains the red line and dumps it in, trying to get it to that far corner where he finds Giroux. Giroux spinning off a one-man. Good play by Joey Shea to create a loose puck. Now he gets that puck cleared. Really solid work by the defenseman number 20, Joey Shea, West Seneca West product. Nate Kernan winding it up behind his net. He's got some speed through the neutral zone. He comes in on Shea looking for something offensively. Good play by the ECC defenseman to at least give him a little bit of a bump there. I think we're going to have a penalty call being made here as Shea ended up knocking Kernan down. And the puck is eventually picked up there and touched by ECC in the offensive zone. And a high sticking call is signaled back here behind the play. So just as I was giving Shea credit for 2 good plays on the penalty kill, he ends up getting the stick up on Kernan. And now it's a 5-on-3 in favor of Fredonia. This is a huge opportunity in favor of the Blue Devils. They've allowed ECC to crawl back in this game. They had a 3-goal lead at one point in the second. It's now a 3-3 game, but a chance for the power play to maybe give them that breathing room yet again. Schlifke across to Kernan. Kernan towards the slot, trying to get that play towards that bumper. Quick shot from McGrath. Good defense quickly converging, keeping McGrath from getting that shot away. Bajer creates a loose puck, but he can't get it away from Kernan. Now back to the point to Schlifke. 47 seconds remaining in the first power play. Shot comes in from the far side. Rebound sitting in front of the net. It's tucked home by Ventura. It's now a 4-3 lead in favor of the Blue Devils. Good puck movement there around the perimeter. The shot came in from the far side. Faso had to move from his left to his right in order to get over to make the original save. When the rebound came out towards the slot, right place, right time in that instance. Brady Ventura getting the big goal to make this one a 4-3 game. And it was early in the power play too, early in that 5-on-3 advantage. So still a minute 35 to go in this Fredonia power play. A chance for them to open up that 2-goal lead that they had earlier on. Schlifke with a sweet move there in the neutral zone. Gets a shot away. Blocker save made by Faso. Kept in by Kernan though. Polito at the top of the circle. Back to Kernan, now back to Polito. He walks in, just couldn't quite settle that one down to let the shot away. Kernan does get his shot in on goal. Pretty easy save there by Faso. Didn't really look like there was a whole lot of traffic in front of the netminder. Holds on with the glove hand, and we get a stoppage with 7:25 to go in regulation. Minute 10 to go in the second ECC penalty. Fredonia had one possession of the face-off, but a false start on the draw is indicated, so then we have another attempt at that face-off from that far circle. Smith and Polito tied up, and Giroux finds possession for the Blue Devils. Point shot coming from Schlifke. That one gets deflected off into the corner. ECC getting a clear, sending it through the neutral zone just inside the Blue Devils' blue line. 54 seconds to go on the power play. Drop pass for Kernan. He loses control of that one. Good play by Yeager to create a loose puck. Puck in the skates of Giroux. He eventually finds possession of it, gets it to Clendenning, splits between two defenders and gets a shot away. Skate save made by Faso. Shot from Kernan. That one hits a skate and goes wide, but Fredonia is going to be able to get possession again. Clendenning gets knocked down on the play, but drops it off to Polito. Puck comes back towards the point as two players still tied up here, Clendenning and Yeager. And now Polito joins the fray as well. I didn't think anything was really going to escalate out of that when it took so much effort and work for them to get to the ice while being tied up that I don't think there was anything left for any sort of altercation after that. They give each other slaps on the helmet there as they get up back to the ice and ready to go here for the next face-off coming up. But it looks like we'll have some penalties coming up first as Yeager and Clendenning heading to the penalty box, I would assume. Each for 2-minute penalty. Roughing would be my guess. Haven't seen the signal yet from the referee. Does appear what he's telling the scorers over there, so should be no manpower change here. Still 29 seconds to go on the power play for Fredonia. Faceoff is tied up in the skates of the linesman, eventually picked up there and carried in over the blue line by McGrath. Now harassing a defenseman down low, gets knocked down on the play and then can't keep possession. ECC going to get a chance to clear. Won't get out of the zone, though, as Williams keeps it in. Williams pass a little bit off the mark, but McGrath still finds possession. Now he gets it to Ventura. Ventura, who has the go-ahead goal in this game as he accepts a pass back again from Johansson. Ventura, 2 men on him as the ECC penalty expires. Print up in the far corner as he carries it out. Now has to dig it out of his skates. Puck taken off of him, though. Now ECC maybe with some numbers. Connor Mangoni gets it in towards the slot, kind of slowly cutting between the two defensemen there. Didn't eventually get it settled down enough to have a shot. Now it's a 2-on-1 in the other direction. Good move to get himself free. Ventura looking for another one here in this third period. Just couldn't quite settle it down to get a shot away. Now Ventura tries to drive from behind the cage out towards the front. Pinned to the side of the net as finally ECC finds control. Can't get it out of the zone. Is a good play made by Print Up to create a loose puck behind the net. Tadford tries to start it up the far side. Duma gets the puck taken off of his stick. Good play there by McGrath as he came back there hard on the back check. End of his shift as well as he heads to the bench for a change. Always good to see that hard on the back check at the end of his shift, especially in a game where Fredonia is undermanned. Schlifke jumping in from his point position to get a shot on goal. Faso made the original save, didn't have it covered. Got the benefit of a bit of a quick whistle as Polito was nearby looking for that rebound. 5:11 to go in regulation. Fredonia with a 4-3 lead. They got that lead thanks to the power play goal here in third period play. Ventura getting the go-ahead goal to give his team the 4-3 lead. They are now protecting with a little bit more than 5 minutes to play. Williams getting it down low. Good play by Shea to stop and create himself some space. Now he gets a pass up the far wall. 3-on-2 maybe setting up here for the Cats. Baker in across the blue line, tries to drop that pass to Shea. Eventually it's going to be picked up there and fired into the back of the net by Connor Smith. The original play didn't work, but Connor Smith trailing the play properly, found that loose puck, fired a hard wrist shot past Albert, and it's back to a tie game. It's now 4-4 with under 5 minutes to go. Every time you seem ready to write off the ECC Cats, they come back with another charge. Down 3-0 at one point in this game. They score 3 to draw even. Fredonia uses a 2-man advantage to get the 4-3 lead, but it doesn't stand up for very long as it's Connor Smith getting this game tied at 4. Kernan looking for that response now from Fredonia. Unable to get it deep in the offensive zone, and now this is going to be Matthews in the other direction for ECC. Matthews losing control of it. Good play by Lord to knock him off of that puck. And now the Blue Devils look to counter. Print up through the neutral zone. Cuts between the two defenders. Still has it on the backhand. Only was able to get one hand on the stick to get the shot on goal. Faso making the save with the glove hand. Good individual effort by Elias Printup to get himself even that close to getting a good scoring opportunity. Ends up getting a shot on goal. Save is made by Faso. Holds on for a whistle with 4 minutes and 22 seconds now remaining in regulation. Our broadcast today is brought to you by Militello Realty, Western New York's premier commercial real estate broker. To buy, sell, or lease any office, industrial, retail, or investment property, trust the unparalleled knowledge and experience of Militello Realty. 4-4 game as we approach 4 minutes to go in regulation. Fredonia keeping it in the offensive zone, but it's going to be Christian Mangoni getting it to the blue line but not out. Good play by Johansson to keep it in, not once but twice there on the left point. Rose tries to keep it moving here on the near side. Mulville keeps it in here at the near point and gets run over in the process. ECC continuing to be physical with the Fredonia defensemen, noting that there are only 4 of them in uniform today, making sure that their work is that much more difficult to try to grind them down for this end of game moment here. 3.5 minutes to go. Connor Mangoni getting that pressure down low. His brother Christian Mangoni joins the fray as they try to get that puck free. Eventually it comes out to Duma as he has it at the top of the circle. Shot is let go. That one misses the net wide. Almost an attempt to get that one out in front. Christian Mangoni trying to get it to Connor. Just couldn't quite settle the pass down. Clendenning in the other direction. Pass to the slot to Giroux. Backhander gets deflected before he could get it on goal. Good play by the back-checking defenseman to get just enough of that backhand shot. Faso ends up collecting it in the glove. And we get another stoppage with 3:11 to go in regulation. Draw will be to the right of Faso. And it's going to be Baker and Ventura. Baker winning the faceoff. Seen him win a number of faceoffs here cleanly. Pretty impressive considering he was a natural defenseman at St. Mary's. Playing forward, though, here for this ECC squad, and pretty effectively as well. ECC slowly getting that breakout started, and it's going to be Connor Smith, the author of the equalizing goal here in this game, looking for the 5th ECC goal as he lets a hard shot go. That one misses the net high and wide. Jaeger now finding a loose puck in the near corner. Tries to find Matthews out in front of the net. Can't quite get it to him. And now Fredonia is going to get a chance to find possession with Kernan in the near corner. Kernan to Schlifke. These two have been on the ice an awful lot here today. See how much gas they have in their tanks for this last 2.5 minutes of regulation. And potentially more. Schlifke in the far corner. D-to-D pass, and now Kernan gets it up ice to Williams. Williams banks it off the glass. Good play here into the offensive zone to Ventura. Ventura is the only one in the offensive zone, though, as a wholesale change coming for Fredonia. 4 players back for ECC managed to get Ventura away from that puck pretty easily. Ventura, though, has it again, though, as it goes off the linesman. Shot from distance. Rebound opportunity there. Williams almost with his 3rd of the game. Actually, that was Clendenning in front of the net as he looks to set up there and look for a pass again. Pass comes towards the front of the net. Ventura looking for his 2nd of the period. Good quick snapshot on goal. Save made by Faso as Ventura gets knocked down on the far side. McGrath finding that rebound, walks in and lets a shot go. It gets through the goalie and just barely trickles wide of the net. And then the shot from Mulville hits the crossbar and then goes out of play. A wild few seconds there as it looked like Fredonia was knocking on the doorstep. A couple of different opportunities there from tight range. Player gets knocked down, gets back up. A lot going on there on that play. Faso, though, keeping his team in this one, keeping it a 4-4 game. Impressive battle for the netminder here from ECC so far in this game. So another face-off in the offensive zone here coming up for Fredonia. Minute 32 left in regulation. Fredonia has already used their timeout, so they will be unable to take it here in the waning moments of this game. ECC still has their timeout, however. Kept in at the point. Good play by McGrath to create that loose puck and get it to Clendenning. Puck banks off of a player and then comes out to center ice. Good quick play there by Eli Mulville. He's played a lot tonight, but he was quick on that loose puck. Had the energy when his teammates needed him. Approaching a minute to go in regulation. Carrying it up the near side is Matt Bajer. 2 men converge on him and create a loose puck, and now Polito's into the offensive zone for Fredonia. Cuts towards the slot. Good quick shot and a good save by the netminder. Faso again making a stop from in close. Puck comes towards the slot. Polito trying to find someone there. Eventually gets it to Giroux, but he fans on that shot. Under 45 seconds to go as Bajer settles down a loose puck in the neutral zone. Drop pass to Matthews. Winds up a slap shot. Pad save made by Albert. Loose puck picked up on the far wall by Duma, but he can't keep possession as Fredonia moves it through the neutral zone. Foot race into the far corner, won by Ventura. Tries to go through the legs of Shea, does eventually get that one out in front. Shot there by Giroux, just barely misses the net wide. Under 20 seconds to go. Shot taken from the far side by Kernan, right into the glove of Faso. He gathers that one in and holds on for another stoppage, as we are now 16.1 seconds away from going to overtime. Bit of a slow change going on here for both sides. Eventually, though, they get all their personnel out there, and we are ready to go for this face-off on the far side. Face-off is scrambled, eventually picked up by Cody Yeager, and he skates it up ice. Yeager through the neutral zone, tries to get a shot from distance. Quickly on that loose puck is going to be Grady O'Hara. Puck is pinned to the back wall as Fredonia trying to kill off the last seconds of regulation. They do successfully kill off these last moments of the third period, and we are now heading to a fourth period of this one. Game that I was not expecting to see overtime, at least on several different occasions, but ECC has made sure that they are not going to go quietly in this one. They forced this one into overtime. It is a 4-4 game as we head to an extra period. Been a very entertaining game from start to finish. A nice comeback from ECC. And now we have some extra hockey in the offing. 5 minutes up on the board as we get ready for the overtime period. And this overtime period will be brought to you by the Battaglia Marciano Agency, an independent agent for auto, homeowners, business, and life insurance. The Battaglia Marciano Agency providing peace of mind for Western Yorkers for over 35 years. Referees have blown the whistle to signify an end of the third intermission.
It's all fours up there.
And now we are ready to go here for overtime period, as it's ECC and Fredonia playing some extra hockey today. And it will be 3-on-3 for overtime.
3-on-3.
No surprise to see Nate Kernan out there for Fredonia. Also no surprise to see on the other side the standout defenseman Christian Mangoni. Kernan with control off the initial faceoff, and we are underway here in overtime. Puck comes up the near side. Ventura stopping at the red line, drops it for Williams. Williams has 2 goals in this game, both back in the first period. He can't maintain control in the offensive zone. It's going to be Andrew Baker picking it up for ECC. Gets it up ice to Connor Smith. Smith cutting towards the slot. 2 different Fredonia players converge, take that puck away, and now Ventura looking to get it up ice. Backhand pass eventually gets to Kernan. He's alone in the offensive zone as his 2 teammates are changing. Kernan now circles there on the far side and tries to slow things down to let that change complete. Can't keep possession, though, as turning away from that pass was Colton Clendenning. Baker in the other direction, drops it for Smith, makes a move to get himself free, had the goaltender down, and seemingly scrambling, took the shot quickly, but a great save by Albert. Might not have been in the exact position he wanted to be to make that save, but he did manage to squeeze it in tight and keep this game going. It stays 4-4 with 4:06 to go in overtime. Looked like Connor Smith had a golden opportunity to not only have the game-tying goal, but the game-winning goal here in overtime. Just couldn't get it past the Fredonia netminder. New personnel for both sides, as this is going to be Elias Printup carrying it into the offensive zone. Good play by Joey Shea to knock it quickly off of his stick. And now it's going to be Eric Duma into the offensive end. Good play, though, to knock him off of that by Sam Schlifke. Fredonia with possession now and carrying it through the neutral zone. This is McGrath. Connor McGrath on his forehand here as he gets it towards the corner. He takes a bump from Shea. Printup coming over to help, but Shea dislodges that puck and now looks to skate it up ice. 2-on-1 into the offensive zone. A little bit slow in coming together, though. Puck comes towards the front of the net, and it ends up going into the back of the net off the stick of the defenseman. A strange ending to this one, as the puck ends up being deflected into the back of the net by the Fredonia defenseman. It's a 5-4 win for ECC in overtime. We'll have to wait and see who gets final credit for this one. But the final score in overtime, ECC picking up their first win of the season, and a divisional win at that, in overtime, 5-4, in a game that they had to come back in multiple times. It was 3-0 in favor of Fredonia in the second period. It was 4-3 at one point after the ECC Cats had clawed their way all the way back. So with under 8 minutes to go in this game, it was actually under 5 minutes to go in the game. It was a 4-3 lead in favor of Fredonia. Connor Smith, those scores with under 5 minutes to go to tie things up. And then in overtime, it is Joey Shea getting credit with the goal, the game winner in overtime. A funky bounce to find the back of the net, but it counts just the same. And it's a 5-4 final score here from Steele Hall on the Fredonia State campus. ECC picking up their first win of the season. It's going to be an overtime loss for the Fredonia Blue Devils, so still points in the standings for that, but a big 2 points for ECC as they pick up the overtime win. One more broadcast coming up on the Nickel City Hockey Network today. That will be later on tonight from Niagara University. We will be at Dwyer Arena as the Buffalo State Bengals visit the Niagara University Purple Eagles. Certainly join us for that game later on tonight. That is a 7:30 warm-up, so face-off should be right around 8 o'clock. That should do it, though, from the Fredonia campus. For camera operator Katie Lee, my name is Aaron Elpern. Thank you for joining our broadcast today here on the Nickel City Hockey Network, Western New York's new home for amateur hockey.